Good morning, everybody. Let's get this party started. You know what time it is, right? All right, taking a look at the daily, uh, and ultimately, the daily is we're coming into the middle of the range in this declining channel, and we're pushing a bit lower after a decent bounce off that target number two of the sequence. So that was 532. We're all the way up to 12801, and we're hitting the top end of that range. So you have resistance up at 1313, and today you have resistance at 876, which is the high of Globex, and we're pushing a bit lower this morning from that range. So ultimately, momentum will pick up around 12.6, and we should see a bit of a push there. And you have resistance at 801. So that's just kind of the bigger picture. But if we dig into deeper, this is what we're seeing. Uh, this is the 200 NT wrinkle. We started a rotation on the 25th with a switch trade. Market consolidated and worked itself up to target three, then sped up to target number four, and we hit target number five of this huge sequence. And right now, after a nice weekend, extended weekend, we're seeing a market that's consolidating into the body of the cloud. The bottom end of that range is that 605, and if we break right now to 687, so 687 is an important level because that will close the 200 NT Rinko and put the market in sync on the long side again. And then we can see potentially another run up to 734 and potentially back up to the 816 as long as we protect that 590. So that is where the market is heading to, and we can see that the 200 and the 100 as of this moment is out of sync. But we break that 688, 87, which we're not too far away from it. We're like literally a few points away. We should see some momentum on the upside. Like every day, we're trading the first 15, 20 minutes. We're patiently waiting and observing the price action and getting a sense of how the market is behaving, and we'll go from there. Good morning, Randolph. Good morning. Good morning. Here we go. So we got that market in sync right now, and the cash market just opened. Pullbacks are buyable, and I may end up getting involved right off the bat from 65, 55, 45. Here we go. 45. I'm going break even. Uh, I didn't want to see that, to be honest with you. All right, so that's a break even. Yeah, they gave us some money though. That's fine. That's fine. Let's just keep working. Okay, so 55, 45. I have a 45. Let me see what that 45 would be. Yeah, 48, 45. Okay, 45, that candle will close, so we don't want to be involved. So let's just watch. Let's watch this market. So we have the first trade we made after commission, $11. Okay, so the market is disconnecting right now between the 200 and the 100. So we're waiting on the market to reassert itself at 673 right now. And or if they want to really mess with people, they're gonna have to break it below 610. We're not too far off from that. David, good morning. Yeah, they're pushing to that 10. I mean, that is okay. I mean, that's what they want to do. I'm just gonna start the day like this. 36, 46, 56. Okay, here we go. We're just playing with small amount right now. Good morning, Joe Gold. How are you? So they're playing a game here. We're down to that whole number 600. Yeah, you're getting a push here. We hit target number 4 of the sequence. Just gonna have to go to 605 and 625. Hmm. David, our session is gonna be on YouTube as well, so you could come back and watch it since you're gonna be gone. Okay, good luck to you. Good morning, Yanis. How are you? Yeah, be safe. Man, I like that one, but I'm not gonna chase any of this stuff. That was a good one right there. That was a good one. Yeah, I'm not chasing none of this. Okay, it's early in the day anyway. Let's watch this price action, and we'll figure out a good entry here in a minute. So the 200 and the 100 is in sync on the short side, and we're getting the market that's rotating short. That's the signals that we're seeing. There was a signal right here, which is a switch trade at the inception of a new transitional zone. And now the market retraced and came back down and put on a captain setup long. So ES is doing the same thing. It's going through two rotations of transitional zone, one right here. Let's take a quick look. This one right here. And sorry, the second one was right there. So there's two of them. Market is short at the open. Target number 5 is hit. That is 553. It's about to get hit. Yeah, it's a drifting market. That's what it is. It's a drift market. Yeah, we're seeing just multiple rotation, one after the other. I mean, it's just you got one here, another one right here, another one right here, and we are below target number 5 of this sequence. So I mean, it's an extended market right here on the short side. So we're back to target number 4 from target number 5, and typically here you'll see a little bit of a pause in price action. So let's see if longs can come in here and show some conviction. Because if they fail here, the next rundown is going to be to 450. Then you go from there to 345, and that's all against this level here of 700. Right now, the market is in sync and in harmony on the short side. All right, so we're getting that little bounce that we talked about. Potentially, the market here can pause. So there's a there is about to be a disconnect. So here we go. The 200 and the 100 is out of sync. All right. So we're waiting on two things to happen. The first thing is either the price come back down all the way down to 523, or the market runs up short of closing above 610, then reverse. And if that happens, that's going to be a continuation short. If we close above 610, then the market is in sync on the long side. So one of those scenarios need to materialize. And we have about 14 minutes to the top of the hour. We had the Chicago PMI, and at the top of the hour, we have CB consumer confidence. So that's going to be an important piece of news at the top of the hour. So I want to make sure that I'm not necessarily in any position during that time. Renko charts, yeah, it's an NT Renko. Sheila, good morning. Good morning, Sheila. How are you? So we're having a disconnect here also on ES, and ES is shifted into a cloud that is positive. So right now, if we close at 48, 48, let's put on some. There you go. If we close at 48, the market is in sync on the short side. And we'll start looking at opportunities to go short. Here we go. So now what we're going to be looking for is a disconnect of the 20 NT ring code, the transitional zone, and a resumption of it. So let's see if that happens here. These are the targets. Target 1, target 2. Hey, hi. How are you, Laith? All right, we're getting a disconnect here. Let's see if we can get the market to sell off a little bit and produce another transitional zone. Okay, it's 8:51. Here we go. Okay, that's good. And I want to see another pullback down here. Ah, come on. That would have been good. Let's see if we can get back in. Okay, the market is disconnecting here again. I'm going to cancel this order and I'm going to look for another transitional zone to happen. Yeah, this market looks like it's going to flush below that 40. Okay. Yep. Here it comes. Yeah. All right. Okay. So we tried it here at that 55. We didn't get a fill, and we're looking for the next trade. Market is short and continuing to exhibit a short behavior. It's 8:53, 7 minutes to the top of the hour, and also we have a piece of news that we need to be conscious of and not have too many positions in the market while the CB consumer confidence is out there. We have 103 forecast on that number, and the prior number was 107. So they survey households, and actual greater than forecast is good for currency. So we want to see what that number comes out to at the top of the hour and go from there. Hey, good morning, GM. How are you? Good morning. Good morning. How are you? Okay, all right. Right. So if we hit that 73, which we're about to, we need to close above that 75 basically. If we do that, then the market will be disconnected, and that puts us in a holding pattern, waiting on the market to get back in sync and in harmony. Here we go. So what does that mean? That means that the market is, out of sync between the 200 and the 100, and two things need to happen. One, I mean, they can go all the way back up to that 610 that we talked about earlier. If they do that, then the market is in sync on the long side. They could rally, in the 90s, close to 600 and fail, and that will continue the short momentum. So one of those two things it can happen. And also this candle that we are in If they close at 36.50, then the market is will be in sync on the short side, and I'll be interested in starting to look for short signals. So one of those situations will have to happen, and we will have a plan to act accordingly. 536 half is a level that we need to be conscious of. Easy 20. Right, so 9 o'clock. Here we go. We go. That news should be out by now. CB consumer confidence came out at 106.4. The forecast is 103.9, and really what we have to kind of look at is market behavior. And market behavior right now, they're trying to figure it out. Not much momentum or volatility going on either side of that market. So market is out of sync. Typically, if it's just a critical piece of news and there's a lot of eyes watching, you will get a bit more pronounced moves. So the market is not really thinking much of this piece of news right now. Yeah, if you get break 35, here we go back. The market's back in sync. Market is back in sync. So what do I want to do with this here? I want to see the market produce another transitional zone. Then I'll start participating on the short side. Let's see. Just gonna put one here and look for more. Let's see. Thank you. I'll take it. I will take it. I will take it. Now it has bigger potential, to be honest with you, but it's just we have a potential to go to 494. But I took the scalp version of this trade just to kind of build up my day. So we're up on a small amount of trades and contracts, a little bit of money. So trade numero uno was that $11, and actually that thing gave us about 400 bucks. But I just kind of was looking for a bigger move right off the bat on that long, and this short that we just took on small amount, two contracts, we are up 500, so we're up 513 so far. Let's just keep working. Oh, you took that one, Yanis. Good for you, bud. You made some money, huh? Good for you. Now, if I want to really hold on to a trade a lot longer, what would I have? What conditions would I have to put to say, hey, listen, I'm gonna be in this for a little bit longer? I would have to look for target 4 and 5, and I would have to look for this transitional zone to hold. And so far, the transitional zone is holding, and target number 4 is below a whole number, which makes it a little bit tricky. But we have a possibility of a flush here. But that those are the two conditions I would have to had in my head ahead of this trade, saying, okay, I'm going to hold on, and this is what I'm looking for, and this is what the market needs to do in order for me to stick around. All right. That was a captain setup short. Now we have a transitional zone built. I'm looking for target number 4, and I'm going to go break even and hold on to this trade and see if I can get to that target. I may not be able to. I mean, that's close enough, to be honest with you, but let's see if we can get a flush. I mean, we're right at a 500 whole number. So in the break below 500, where I need to kind of start getting out, and I could put it at 91 and see if they can flush right here. And I'm gonna move my stop to 504 just in case they put on another reversal candle. And let's go. Yeah, here we go. They're pausing quickly. I'm out. I mean, that's just a captain setup right there. Short. Here we go. Good for them. They got me out. You bastards. That's fine. That's fine. They could play those kind of games all day long, as long as I make my money. As long as I make my money. All right. So we're increasing the size in which I'm trading. I mean, I'm getting in sync with this market. So we made about 600 bucks on those 3 contracts. We're up 1121, and let's just keep playing the game. So see the market on the 200 and the 100 are in sync. So that is supporting this declining price action into aggressive targets. Target number 5 out of this sequence is 12,473 and a quarter. How's everybody doing in the room? Any trades, GM? Omer, Sandy, Mike, Brian? Sandy is still short. I like your style. I like your style. Staying alive, huh? Yeah. Well, the instinct of everybody seeing this retracement GM is to think of it in terms of a buying pullback, because it's really supported by multiple levels of areas where the price can be protected. So the impulse of everybody seeing this is just to kind of buy into it, and just you got to be careful though, because this market is notorious for this parabolic moves up and down. Ultimately, you got to protect this level right here, which is 345. You have a level at four and a quarter that is gonna be of interest. So we'll see if we hit this target. Here we go. All right. So the market is out of sync now. With that move, the market is absolutely uh, out of sync, which means two things need to happen, or multiple things need to happen. One of them, either the market decides to go all the way up to 560. So let's just put that number out there, 560 right here, 561 and a half. Here we go. So if we get there, that means the 200 and the 100 are in sync on the long side. If we get close to it, but short of passing it, and the market on the 100 NT wrinkle reverses, then that's going to be a continuation short. Yeah. Well, I mean, here you had, yeah, I mean, there's two captain setups long on ES, and both of them held the price for a move, and then they pulled it back another move up. In situations like that, I mean, even if you decide that you want to take these type of trades, your risk is very defined, Sheila. 41.08 and your stop is oh 05, 3 points. Same thing here, oh 06 all the way down to oh 03. So if you remember the conversation we had also Friday, was it Friday? Yeah, Friday. Yeah, we had Friday. You remember when we were talking about this level at 553 and saying how people are really going to get sucked into uh, fading the market, and you may get a potential of a rally all the way up to the highs. That's exactly what happened there. And that's why it's so important to actually wait for the market to give you a 200 NT wrinkle candle. So I remember that conversation we had, and I'm just kind of going and talking about it again. Now, as far as when it comes to captain setups against the cloud, so like this one is captain setup long against the declining cloud, I'll scalp those. The one like this one here, I like to hold on to them a little bit longer. You could tell that the market is trying to protect. It's putting a bid and it's holding on to it. Right now in ES, they put a captain set up long, came and retested it, and now they're pushing a little bit higher here. This structure needs to hold on to 41.11 in order for us to see momentum start to step in and pushing the price action higher. Here it comes. I like the way that looks right here. I mean, there is some longs they're trying here. They are trying. But it's not enough for me though. I if I'm gonna go long, I want at least that push to that 60 to happen. The question is why? Because if you do that, you that's a conservative approach right now. If you do that, that means you have the 200 into wrinkle in your favor, protecting your move upward. Here you go. Here you go. And look at that captain setup, Sheila, on ES. So you had one, you had two, all of them worked, and then you got that third one, and the cloud was in your favor, and a nice little leg of price action moving in your direction. Here we go. So that is a market that is in sync on the long side now, and I'm gonna just do this first initial trade. 43, 33, 23. Okay. I mean, I hope they don't just kind of ramp it up, run it up in a way that I can't get in. They may do that. Let's see. Man, nice little rally, right? I know. And that's what I was saying, Yanis. I was like, man, I like that switch right here because that was just like perfect structurally. It just the market was not in sync, and I just left it alone. Yeah, I mean, here we go. I mean, they're running that up. I mean, I'll give it a chance at 45. I mean, 46, 26, 26. Okay, here we go. I'll give it a shot here. Yeah, I mean, I doubt it if they give me an opportunity. I'm not chasing nothing for it doesn't matter to me. If they're gonna run it up, let them run it up. Um, I saw your message, Yanis. I mean, apply the same numbers to YM and Russell um, as NQ. You got a 200, you got a 100, you got a 20. Both have a lot of volume. So this way you're not kind of tempted to take multiple trades, like a different types of trades. Just one signal and just apply it to multiple instruments, and that keeps you from getting bored in the market. Should be okay with getting bored, but it's nice to avoid it when you can. All right, let's see here. 53, 23, 33. Mm. Okay, so the middle of the range is holding, but so that was the first opportunity. Okay, so we're going to cancel this order. What we were looking for did not happen the way I wanted to happen. So I'm going to cancel this order and just look for something else. What am I going to look for? I'm going to look for consolidation here and higher lows. I'm going to look for a new transitional zone to be built up. If that happens, that qualifies me for the next trade. We made, I think, three decisions today so far. Those three decisions, one long early on and two shorts. We made 11, 502, 608. We're up 11.21 for the day. Let's work. All right. So they came back in here and put on a spear trade for higher prices. Long and strong so far. They protected the 47. They established a new transitional zone, pushed to target number 4. Target number 5 is 651 and a half. It's firming up, GM. But we're coming into this area right here. That's going to be a bit of a challenge for the market to just break right through, right here. So between a high of 671 to a low of 622. That zone is the entry zone for the swing trade uh, system. And typically the market will pause, retrace. It goes through a bit of give and take. And it really, for the long, it needs to hold the market. If it closes at 534, we'll start a sequence that will get us to 480 and potentially down to target number 2, which is 309. So it's very critical for the longs to really present a very big, very profound long structure in and around that 650. And we'll see. I mean, they're coming to it. They're getting slapped around here. Target number 4 is hit. Target number 5 is 651. Uh, the longs need to also protect 573 because 573, the market would be out of sync. So the market put on a cloud negative and is very close to disconnecting between the 200 and the 100. That's kind of what I've been talking about. Just this area right here is going to be a challenge. I mean, they're coming in almost to the tick. So we just need to see how this area is going to unfold and go from there. So what would get me excited and interested in going long again? The 73 holds and the market establish a new transitional, a new cloud positive and a new transitional zone to the upside. That happens, I'll start looking for an additional long into that 650 zone. Anything short of that, if 73, if they give up on 73 or the 73 breaks down, you know, then that puts me in a holding pattern where I'm just watching the market and I'm looking for it to give me more information. I mean, they're showing a little bit of strength here. I mean, they literally came down to that 73 and just bounced back. Man, that was a good one too. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't even take it, but I was looking around. But that was a good switch trade right there. It's exactly that trade, but better. All right, the longs are active here. Here comes another rotation. Target number three is hit, and we want to see how close they came down to that 73 level. The longs are in charge. Market is in sync between the 200 NT wrinkle and the 100 NT wrinkle on the upside. Target number three is hit. Target number four in the sequence 657. Target number five is 678. All right. So the next level that the market needs to support is 598. So all these rotations long are against that level. And it looks like it's gonna, you know, pop to the upside here again. Boom. There you go. We're dead into this zone though. We are dead into this zone. That doesn't mean it's not gonna go higher. That just means I need to be careful about being long and aggressively long here. And what are some of the scenarios that the market can present us here? I mean, if we break into that 598 zone, then the market is out of sync on the long side. So, meaning that I'm not going to engage myself in any long signals. And then I'm looking for two things to happen. Either we break down all the way down to 560, and that will put us in sync on the short side, or I'm looking for the market to retrace short of that price and reverse, giving me a long signal. So one of those two things will need to be happening. But in this zone that we are in, I'm a bit conscientious of being aggressive on the long side. That doesn't mean I go short. That means if I see a signal here long, instead of taking it for five contracts, I may take it for one, and I may take the scalp versus the actual swing trade version of that trade. So that's what being careful means to me. 8 minutes away from the top of the hour. And what we're seeing here is that tired level. A little bit of back and fill. They push it a little bit, they bring it back a little bit, not a lot of momentum in either side. And we are smack right into the middle of that box, that zone. That doesn't mean I go short. That doesn't mean I aggressively go long. That means I just need to be conscious of it and reduce my size. And I want to see either a fresh sell pressure at 562, or maybe the market retrace back down to 80 and reverse back up. That'll give me a fresh reaction. Right now things are just slow. And by the way, it's summer. So you know what that is. Summer doldrums, summer trading, and we act in the summer a little bit different than any other time, because typically the first 2 3 moves in the morning are fairly lucrative. Then the market goes into this very slow price action. So I give a lot more emphasis to that morning session at that time, and not so much trading the afternoon. How's everybody doing so far? Sheila, Yanis, Mike, Sandy, Omer, GM, Randolph, how are we doing? Everybody on stream. Yash, Joe, Yanis, one trade plus 200. Good for you. Chuck King. Oh, Chuck, how are you? What are you doing on the dark side? Doing good? Just watching. Okay. I mean, right here, I can get in. Oh, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like that. Mm-mm. Okay, so no problem. Whatever makes you comfortable, bud. Whatever makes you comfortable. 598. $598. Okay, let's go. Yeah, 598. So the market is still in sync, but we don't have the cloud in our favor, and we're getting this little, sloppy sideway market. Was looking for a continuation trade, and my stop is literally under that 621. I picked the wider ATM, and it just dropped. So I took off that right here, and now it's just a function of just waiting for the next trade. So on that trade, on that decision, we give back 300, and we're at 797. And let's look for the next trade. So there's a little bit of noise in this zone. All right, so we got a disconnect right here at 610, and two things need to happen. Either we run back up to 36, and that'll be the market in sync, or we find ourselves at 560. If we find ourselves at 560, that's going to change things to the short side, and that will be consistent with where the cloud is at on the bigger Rinko bar, which is the 200 NT Rinko. So let's watch and see. One of these scenarios are gonna present itself. So where is 61? 561 is down here. So let's just put that. So today is the last day of the month. It's a big day. So at the beginning of the month, we act like as if the month before it never happened, and we just basically try to build a new month as if we're almost like new to trading. And as we progress through the month, we start taking more risk and more with more size, and on and on and on. So a couple of things here. I mean, while the market is just doing its thing, I mean, we're waiting for the levels that we talked about, which is that 560 or the level of 634. So we got in a couple of minutes here, we could talk about how the month is progressing. So we're up almost 800 bucks for the day. And let's go to the periods, and let's go to the beginning of the month. So that's the net for the month. Just starting off day in, day out. If you're familiar with NinjaTrader, that's how that looks. And these are the net profit after commission for the day and all through the month. So we've been fairly consistent in how we kind of handled our business this month. Just about every day is up were up at some point and ended up for the day. Some of these days we were down a little bit in the morning, or sometimes we took on some heat and a drawdown, but we worked right through it. So if we look at the summary of it, we're running at 159, 324.04. We paid about $8,700 worth of commission, and our equity, profit and loss, where the profit factor is 2.04, and more the longs are outperforming my shorts, which is surprising, to be honest with you, considering the market took a bath this month, but seem to be doing well with the longs, and the shorts are not doing too bad, but at the same time, they're just half of the longs. Running about 2.85 versus 1.53. Then we go cumulative. Uh, as far as the percentage profitability, it's about 67%. Average trade is 87. We're about at parity. Well, that's parity right here between the winning versus the expense trade in average. And we're basically running at, like if you be 51% and you have parity, then that automatically will put you in the profit column. But we're running at 67% and we have parity between the winning versus expense trade. Consecutive versus not, three times the consecutive winning trades versus the ones are losing. And number of trades, 4.3 minutes per trade. And let's see here. That's the equity curve for the month. And we are at the peak of it to end the month. And that's typically what I would like to see. I don't want to see jaggedy equity curve for me personally. I like to see a stair step, and also the actual um, lows of equity are higher lows. It's almost like a trend in a stock or in a trade. You want to constantly see the equity curve base, consolidate, then run. Base, consolidate here, consolidated over past. I mean, that's just the 10 grand consolidation to the upward, which is not bad. Then you get a run up, and the same thing right here. So this is a good month on all metrics. The daily net profit, that's kind of the daily. We had a nice month here. Everything else is either a small or big equity wise distribution, and that's been consistent through my trading. Is that first half an hour has always been a trouble spot for me, between 8:30 central to the 9 o'clock. I kind of have to just basically be patient, and after that I just do well, and that last hour has been a big money maker, and and the rest of the time still making money, but outperformed here in the last hour. That's just how it worked. Drawdowns, entry efficiency, that's not as important. Exit efficiency, above 50%, that's fine. And total efficiency, above zero, what it needs to be positive. Weekly not. And those are the weeklies. And this week into last week into this week, we slowed it down. And the reason why is like, okay, we need to go into profit protection mode. Typically, the last week of a month that I'm doing very well, it's just a function of either you go very aggressive and you take a chunk of that money and you take big risk with it. So, or you just say, okay, well, let's just lock this in mode. I choose to lock it in. So I locked it in, added about a little bit over 10 grand for that week. I locked in that profit, and now we're ready for the new month. And let's see here, what else out there? I think that's it for that. Trades and periods. Yeah, the biggest day was the 30th, and you had a couple of good ones here, a couple of 20 grand, 15, then you got the 30 grand. Everything else was just basically consistent. 2 grand, 4 grand, 1800, 400. Today is 700, almost $800. And that's how the month is ending. Let's take a look at the half an hour. Yep. So that slot 9 to 9:30. So that would be 8:30 to 9:30, that hour. Actually, let's put it in an hour format. Yeah, 9 to 10. So 8 to 9 makes money. 9 to 10 is struggles a little bit. Everything else is good. That's monthly and that's weekly. And the week just started here, so that's where we at. So that's that. So let's take a look here and see. I mean, what are we looking for? I mean, the market is hit that level. I mean, we talked about this like extensively. It's like, all right, we're getting into this zone. The market typically will retrace off of it. The question is to what degree. What I want to see uh, a 561. If that happens, then we have an opportunity for a push all the way to target number one. What would that do if that close does occur? You are looking at a channel number one establishing itself. So now, what that tells me that this overwhelming upward momentum that we experienced in the past couple of days and last week is been compromised, and now the market is in rotations that could retrace all the way down to target number two, which is 309. And a close of this candle lower here will actually establish a signal, and that signal is two things: railroad short, inception trade short. So basically, you got two trades in a row or two signals in a row telling me any rally back up against that high is shortable. And not only just that, but aggressively shortable. I mean, at that point, we'll start putting on size. But it has to happen though. I mean, like, it cannot just be bouncing here and say, okay, let me just get ahead of it. No, let it materialize. Let it actually close at that 61 or below, and then act. If it doesn't close, then I'm not going to think about it in terms of short. Now, actually, not even that, but if we close it at 611, the market can start picking up a bid. So I have a scenario in which the market can be significantly pushing lower, and or a scenario when the market can continue, and it depends on how they behave at 61 and how they behave here and close above the 611. If they get back in sync and they close above 611, any trades long here has to be small amount of contracts. If the market closes at 61, the trades short needs to be oversized. to reflect, a really great setup on the short side. So that's how I'm handling and seeing the price action. Make sense? Yeah, they put on a captain setup switch trade right here. Yeah, I like it. Should run up to 605, 610. But I'm not gonna chase it. It needs to be filled at 96, and I didn't get filled, so I'm gonna cancel that order. So hit the 605. It should hit 610 now, but 611 is what will get the market in sync back again. Target number two is 610 quarter. ES, they put a captain setup right here, and that was a good one for a run up. The one before that failed. Here it comes. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, GM. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, if we appreciate everybody that's in the stream today, and if you feel like this material and that stream is helping you in any way, if you have a comment, positive, or you have questions or some suggestions of improvements, don't hesitate to share it with us. And subscribe, share, like, comment, and we're trying to build a big family. And I wouldn't call it trying. We are building a big family, and a family where every trader help his fellow trader get better at the art and the science of trading. So, would love to have you join us, and let's do this together. Yeah, appreciate it, Jim. And that's the key. The key is to walk the walk, talk the talk, and walk the walk. If anybody is confident in his system enough, he should be out there showing it and not showing it just to show it and trade it live, trade it in a live account, and day in, day out, and show the results of your behavior. Document that and put it on a stream where everybody can track the trades and the results day in, day out. Plain and simple. You have confidence in your trading, you should be doing that. So right here, so right here, we're just literally just waiting on that level, and they came very close to it and bounced right back. Now that's the second time they do this. That's the second time they do this. So I mean, that 611 is actionable if we get there. That pullbacks can be viable, but we definitely need at that point a behavior that we can recognize as viable. So, I mean, the step of the process here is first you define the environment, second, you define the behavior, third, you define the signal. Then it's just a function of execution and management of profit or stop, and just rinse and repeat. So if we get to 611, we define the environment at that point as a long environment because the 200 and the 100 are in sync in the right direction, long direction. That's then now what's the behavior? The behavior is this transitional zone. That is a behavior. So I'm looking for that to happen. Third, once the price comes to that, I'm looking for a switch trade, a captain setup, a railroad, one of these signals that we know and trade on a daily basis. Then it's just a function of just like, okay, just let's manage it, for the targets and rinse and repeat. Yeah, that's the switch trade right here. So the expectation is to see a run up to 605 and 610. That may be the catalyst for that jump to 611. Here it goes. Awadish, let me see if I can say your name correctly here. Awadish. Okay. Um, this technique of trading system, I translated your words from Hindi to English, so that's why I know what you said. Just to let you know. But you go to the website and it explains some of the stuff that we do, and it's just using the technique is the harmony between the 200 and the 100 is the initial phase of trading that we look at. Then we use the harmony trading system in order to refine our entries and exit into trading the futures market. Here we go. I mean, they're holding on to that 11. They came back and put a switch trade, another one upward. So the market is stable here on the long side. The longs are, I mean, look how many times we come up to that low level here. So one, two, three. They dumped it here, got very close and reversed it. So there are buyers coming in. So we may end up hitting the highs of that range back up to that 650 zone if this holds. Right now, what's in sync is the long signals. The attempts at the market attempts to produce a short signal has not materialized yet, and that's the part of waiting that we have to do. Is I'm not going to go short till the market go below 61, and then I'm looking for the rallies as a shorting opportunity in a very well defined environment and a signal. Here, the market flipped at 611 and now they're running up. What am I going to do here? I'm going to look for the market to uh, basically close this transitional zone, meaning that they uh, basically run it down, then establish a new transitional zone. That would be a fresh reaction for me to take on risk again on the long side. And I'm gonna undersize myself. So I'm not gonna be putting 5 contracts or 10 contracts in this environment on the long side. but I'll take one or two contracts because the we are in an area, we're still in an area that could pose a bit of trouble for the longs. So that's the plan. That's the plan. Hey Kirk. Hey Chuck. How are you? Oh, you heard that, huh? That's very nice, very nice. We're coming back to that 50 zone, 50 level. So we see that the market kind of got in sync. Well, actually got in sync at that 11, retraced, put another switch trade, ran up, put a trigger trade, flipped and ran up. Target number four is 655. Target number five, 677. The market is in sync on the long side and running into this zone right here. And we're going to see how they're going to behave. The longs are in charge, but I wouldn't buy here. I will buy on retracements. I will buy if the market uh, reverse the transitional zone into the body of the cloud, then resume a second rotation upward. It looks like they're going to just run it up here into target number four. Here we go, target number four, 655 and a quarter coming up. See that huge tail that the market put. They do this also. If the market hits this level here and come back down and close at 585, then that would be a strong sell signal. Here we go. So they closed it good, and let's see what they do next. The market is in sync on the long side. Target number four is hit. Target number five is 677. Target number five is hit on the long side. right? We do not have a channel. We have to wait till we get a one candle reversal on the 200 NT Rinko before we can say it's a channel on the downside. So the market retraced, got very close. Actually, it came within 2 points. I mean, that's amazing, actually. They knew it. 2 points from closing and reversed all the way to that 50. And now we're at, at, at the whole number, 700. So the longs are still in charge. Did you make any money off of that long trade, Sheila? 11, huh? So they hit that 11 level, boom, target number three, then consolidated, ran to target four and five. So what's the next thing for us to do? Pullbacks are viable against two levels, against 661, and as long as we do not reverse back down to 610, that's the new level that we need to be looking at. So we're going to go to 609 and say that is the price in which we need to protect. Any prices below that level will compromise this short-term upward trend. So buy within the cloud and buy within the transitional zone. That kind of keeps you in the trade, because look at it this way. The market is oscillating. I mean, there was a captain set up long here for a nice little pop. Then it does this little chicken dance, and boom, the market gives you a transitional zone. Pullbacks are viable. That's a trigger trade, trigger trade, trigger trade, target number four. So within that transitional zone, those are the trades that keeps you in. So again, you're looking at definitions of environment, the definition of behavior. So this is a definition of a behavior. The market is telling you this is a momentum behavior on the long side. Then you're looking for signals. You want those signals to be within the transitional zone for targets. And look at this thing on I mean, past target number five. I mean, they're loving it now. Oh yeah, I know you're loving it, GM. I know you're loving that one. It will be a profound move if you break that 12,800, because now you're very close to Globex, and a break above that will be meaningful. I mean, that looks like a potentially a V recovery from uh, you know from this drop that we just had. exhaling, exhaling. What are you stressed about? Yep, that's exactly what has to happen. All right, so it's 11 o'clock for me, and that's just the morning session for us here. And that's going to be the end of the day for me, too. I'm not going to come back and trade any more of this. I'm going to just kind of end the month the way you're seeing it right here at 159,324. That's the month. And the daily is the daily. You saw it. And today is we are up 797. We made four decisions. Let's lump them up for you. We made four decisions, two longs, two shorts, and let's just kind of review them very quickly here and go from there. All right. So trade number one. Here we go. So trade number one, the 200 NT wrinkle and the 100 NT wrinkle was in sync, and it pulled back to the middle of the range. Took that trade. I was hoping to see a push past that 700, and the market was not having any of it. So I took the first initial trade for a flat plus commission. I end up making $11 basically after commission. We're good with that. The next one, short. The market got in sync here. So basically the market reversed at 613 and put on multiple rotations lower And I'm like, okay, I gotta watch. I gotta wait past 9 o'clock because we had economic news at the top of the hour. We took one contract short, another contract short here at the establishment of the new transitional zone. We got and in. That price level held, that price level held. And in that selling off, we ended up making money on one contract and the second contract from that short. So that led to $502 on two contracts. The next one, same rotation, 200 and 100 are in sync. I took a captain setup short. That is a captain setup short right at the establishment of that captain setup. And I think took three contracts, took two off here, and then I left one to the bottom end of that range, and we made $608 on that. So we're up 1121, and here we took a stop. So market was really good here, was really nice here, another good one here. Man, I mean, that was just giving us a lot of signals. Market consolidated, and I came a little bit later in that trend, and I took on a continuation trade right here, and market like flash sold quickly, and I got out there. So we gave back 326. So that ends us ends us up 797 for the day. And that's how it all worked out. And now you're getting a market that is just running silly. All right, guys, that's it for me. If you have any questions, just you know how to get to me. And another good day. And tomorrow it's going to be a new month, and we'll do this again and again and again. You guys have a blessed one. See you soon. See you tomorrow. Just a reminder. I just remembered. You we I'm running this stream also later on in the day. Like once Globex open up, I'm opening the stream for everybody kind of to get together and see some of these charts if they are trading in the night session. So come back and visit us later on, past 5 o'clock Central Time, uh, to watch that stream. I'm not going to be in it or actively in it. I'm just going to keep it up there for you guys. All right. You guys have a blessed day and see you tomorrow.